All right. We got it.
And we are live, it looks like.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure it says we are live. And we're
all right, let's go to the YouTube and check it out.
So
refresh that page.
We're going to refresh this one. And it looks like we are starting soon.
Starting soon.
So it is starting at Clone Commands. We are starting. So let's see. Hopefully it'll come soon.
Go ahead, F4. Is that 4 refresh? F5.
No, I'm going to work on computer very much.
Ugh.
Alright, you know what? Why don't we just start the live show and we'll figure this out. So,
alright, that looks alright. Alright, looks like we're starting. Okay.
So we are all set to go, and we are good to go.
Okay. Hi, GI TV. It is February 18th, 2014. Got the year right this time. And with me is Ross C. at airsoftgi.com. So remember, if you like our top 5 videos, this is the guy you're going to be sending those emails to with that beautiful footage as well as photos.
Bob doesn't really ever call me by my name. He just references me by my email.
Correct. And your mustache.
Dude, I can't do it anymore. It's not there anymore.
Actually, I want to bring up some really quick before we get to any promotional stuff. When we were at Irene, Ross shaved off just about everything except for the mustache. And you weren't wearing any face protection.
I just want to say how dumb I was.
Yes.
To those of you who don't wear lower face pro, you are a bigger man, or you are willing to take bigger risks than I am. Because after coming back and hearing some stories and seeing some people, I was like, man, I just could have gotten rocked. And you know what? Just because Ed Scholes, if it is your birthday today, you can definitely have a birthday shout out because it's your birthday and you can cry if you want to.
Nice reference, by the way. Problem Child, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's from the movie Problem Child. Ed Schultz. Schultz, not Scholes. I think Schultz. Anyway, happy birthday! Clap with me. Clap, clap, clap. Just clap.
T-Pain?
Oh, God, just clap.
Oh, girl, it's your birthday? Do you know that song? Anyway.
I'm the least likely person to know music.
You're not a girl, but happy birthday. So,
happy birthday, Ed Schultz.
Anyway, let's get into our promotions.
All right. For today, well, we actually have some new coupon codes. We have a currently ongoing coupon code called SAVE14 that you can put into your orders to save 14% off, excluding map items. But we also have a new coupon code called 10SHIPPED. Now, if you have that, allows you the opportunity, if you have an order over $100, to get 10% off and free shipping. Prior to this, a lot of our coupon codes, we only had either 10% off or free shipping, and now we have 10% off and free shipping for orders over $100. Now, there is a small caveat to that, in that there are handling fees still, especially if we are shipping over the Canadian border, because that is just the price of doing business over the border in Canada.
But the nice thing is that you can choose which coupon code you would like to use. So let's say that you live closer to either California or GI Tactical, you can use the 10 shipped, or I'm sorry, you can use the Save 14 and save more off your purchase. Or if, let's say, you live further away, you can use the 10 shipped and save a ton of money on shipping. And
a cool thing, which you know, we haven't actually said a lot about lately, and sometimes people forget, is that with our GI Savings Trifecta, you actually save 2% on all your orders.
That's actually a good point.
And what's really cool is that, you know, as long as you have a customer account or an account with Airsoft GI, you're going to build up those 2% rewards over time every time you purchase stuff. Now, if you just have a visitor account, you know, we won't have a way to track that 2%, so you won't be able to get that. So make sure you make an account when you purchase from airsoftgi.com, and you'll get that 2% rewards back in addition to all the coupons we offer. Now, that's definitely saved me a bucket full of money, at least when I buy stuff through our employee programs, so that's pretty awesome.
If you are a returning customer, you really should think about that, because Bob brings up a good point. You can accumulate, and if you buy stuff regularly, even if it's small things like BBs, green gas, gloves, knee pads, anything in the world, you can use those points to eventually get money back, which is super good. So,
well, not really get money back, but basically, well, I mean, I guess it's money back, but you get, you know, product when you wouldn't expect it, which is kind of nice.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
The other thing that we are doing right now, and if you haven't heard, it's been all over our website, but if you are a new Airsoft player, or let's say that you are a returning Airsoft player and you would like to buy an Airsoft gun, one of the things that you should think about is for only $20 extra, certain Airsoft guns you can buy what is called a Mosfet. And that allows your gun to shoot burst. And Bob, you want to go more into that?
Yeah, what's cool about this Burst Wizard is that for, I believe, over 350 plus AEGs, we're offering this Burst Wizard purchase option with that AEG for a lower price. So let's say, you know, you want to get just, you know, an AEG, and then you add, there's a little button right below that product where you can hit, hey, add Burst Wizard to that for $20. Normally they cost $40. And the Burst Wizard is going to allow you a varied amount of burst functionality like 3-shot burst, 5-shot burst, etc. But it's also going to give you added added reliability to your AEG. You know, it's going to prevent electrical. I'm screwing up the wording right now, but essentially,
Actually, I can take it from you if you would like.
do it, Ross.
I've
Do
actually
it.
put in my research. I've used the Burst Wizard the Burst Wizard Mosfet King Kong Super 2, and
I
I've
don't think
used.
this is super.
Is it not super?
I could be wrong.
Okay. Anyway, I've used the Mosfet, and let me just say, it's very cool because not only does it protect your gun from arcing, and it has LiPo protection, and it has a bunch of other. LiPo? Is that what I said?
You said LiPo.
Oh, LiPo.
How dare you?
Not LiPo, but actually, anyway, it has LiPo battery protection, and what it does is it can protect your gearbox against arcing, which is going to maintain the longevity of your gun. Additionally, it has like 8 to 10 awesome functions that you can program the MOSFET to do. So obviously the main one is you can set up a burst function, which means that you can now go from 3-round burst to like 8-round burst. You can also set up, for those who maybe want to challenge, you can set up a magazine delay. So every time you shoot through 20 shots, it's going to make you wait like, I don't know, whatever you set it to, 10, 15 seconds, like you were actually, well, some people can hand your mag a lot quicker.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, okay, maybe 5 seconds if you're super fast. Actually, that's pretty slow. Anyway, you can set up a magazine delay, and it's a really cool function. So check it out.
Yeah, check it out. Now, we also have something else to mention. In case you weren't aware, we've actually been getting this question a lot recently on what gear we'd recommend, and a lot of folks aren't aware that Pantac products have a lifetime warranty. We bring this up especially because we had some customers come in, as well as some of our employees mention that, you know, sometimes in either inclement weather or inclement circumstances, their knee pads can't get shredded. And that's not to say the main body of the knee pad, but also the elastic holding the knee pad together. Now, the Pantac and Pantac USA offers certain knee pads. What are those called again? X-Force?
They are called the X-Force knee pads, yes.
The X-Force knee pads are really good design. Josh uses something similar to them, and I really like them because they actually can clip on. It's not like a Velcro retention system, which can get, I guess, for me personally, it's, you know, to each their own, get a little bit annoying. But the clip-in system is really easy. It's really easy to take off, really easy to put on. But, you know, over time, if those fray or if they get damaged in any way, because of the lifetime warranty, you can send it into Pantac, get a brand new pair. So that is really awesome. And honestly, like for a little bit extra price, like getting a lifetime warranty is so validating. And also, it's really good for the longevity of your purchase because you're going to save money over the long run as long as you keep using that product. Really awesome in my opinion. So.
And that's definitely, I know a lot of people don't often think about the fact that, oh, well, like, you know, maybe I'll only use gear for this one op. But the nice thing is, if you have a lifetime warranty, you can continue to use something, and you can go, like, so I think some people, like, oh, I don't want to, like, get my gear dirty, or I don't want to do this. Well, with Pantac, you can now go as hard as you want, and you can just go balls to the wall, and you can get all your crap messed up, send it back in, and they'll send you a new one.
Most of the people I see that are, I laugh because you say, I don't want to get my gear dirty, and it's, I don't know, in my opinion, playing Airsoft, it's just going to happen. But, you know, most of the people I know that worry about getting their gear dirty, they also clean the hell out of it when they get home. Which is, you know, it's, you know, if you want to keep your weapon and your gear pristine, more power to you, because that's a great way of playing Airsoft. But, you know, again, the cool thing is, you know, Pantac can be a little bit more expensive, but also the quality and workmanship is incredible. And, again, you are paying for that lifetime warranty, which is going to save you money in the long run. But we do have a wide variety of options as well as for other products, but I would highly suggest taking a look at Pantac because their stuff is made for long haul. Let's see, what stuff to talk about?
Can you hit me?
Nope.
Please? It is the small Pantac bag right there.
Oh, yeah, okay. So while I hand this to Ross very slowly, we actually got some questions about a product very similar to... Yeah, we got a lot of questions about a product similar to this after the Tactical Gearheads with Team Disposable Heroes went live. They had a map pack that is a lot more expensive than this one, but also pretty legit. But we carry these map packs on our website. A lot of people aren't aware about it, and this is the one we would recommend. It's actually very useful at large operations like the Rebel Training Camp Northern Resistance, or TVB games, or John Liu Military Simulation Series games. Basically, any game where you're going to need a map to navigate around the battlefield, it is really helpful to have that map on your person easily accessible. I had a map on my person in my gear, and it was just a pain in the ass. Pain in the ass to get at it, and I honestly wish I'd had just a different setup so I could get at it a lot easier.
One of the things that is great, too, about this is, granted, I don't have awesome forearms, but if you are a man and you have really good forearms, for example, when we were wearing our chest rig, you had to go in, find the map. This is really quickly available, and actually, if you search for it on our website, it's labeled as a GPS like pouch holder thing. But let me tell you that a map would fit really well in here, and you could fit essentially 3 maps
back to back and then on there,
and then on the front. And it would be really, like I said, if I had 4 arms, it would be really effective. But
you can just push that further. It doesn't matter. You can move that further up the forearm to be able to hold it.
I mean, I have to move it like on my chest.
Oh, Jesus. Actually, someone asked a really good question. LTS FTW, on the topic of Pantac, Bob, what is your opinion on the MPS chest rig? I actually really like the MPS chest rig because I was and still am kind of a poor airsofter. Like, I really like the fact that the MPS chest rig has magazine pouches already integrated into it, and it fits a variety of magazines. But Tim, while he's still here, actually brought up a very good point, though, is that when you fill the vest full of magazines and you put it on and you take it off, the vest gets a little bit looser. That's just because of the design of the vest. When it fills up, you know, it's going to be a little bit tighter. That really didn't bother me as much, but I can understand, you know, Tim would carry like, oh, geez, like 12 or 15 high caps, or realistically you carry like 8 to 10 high caps, or like 8 mid caps and 2 or 3 high. Anyway, he carried a lot of magazines. So for him, when he was using the MPS chest rig and he went through all of them, you know, it was annoying to him the vest felt a little bit looser. I really like it though, because again, you buy that vest. I mean, if you only have like a certain set of magazines, you can put all that stuff in there. You're not going to need any extra pouches. In fact, when I had that, I put plates in it. I had all my M4 mags. I even put my sidearm and my radio inside the vest without having to buy any extra pouches. So really good cost saver if you want to get that MPS chest rig. I actually have, well, we brought in Josh's Pantac rig today. I'm just going to hold this up for ease of viewing.
Can I put a quick pause?
No.
Someone did ask, when you buy Pantac gear, you definitely should keep your proof of purchase and your receipt so that you can show that you did buy it. Because those are things like if you ever want to send in a warranty or anything, you should be keeping just for the, you know, like proof of purchase, so that Pantac will know and honor the fact that you bought it.
Yes, that is actually a very good point. Let's see.
So you were saying about this.
Let me answer one viewer question real quick. Colin C. Music. Do I need to directly contact you about some business? Do you have an email? I do have an email. You can send it to, I believe, Bob Hildebrand at Airsoft GI, or you can hit me up on Facebook. I do try and get to those messages on Facebook as quick as I can, but I don't have an assistant like some other folks. So sometimes, you know, I do have a backlog of emails on Facebook. So hit up Bob Hildebrand at airsoftgi.com.
Your assistant bring you coffee? Dude, where's our budget going?
Okay. Jeez. All right, so this vest right here is actually the exact vest with a few modifications that I personally wore to Tim vs. Bob 4 and 4.5. This is Josh's Pantac mod vest. It also has a Pantac RRV hydration rig in it. And what's really cool about this is thank you. It's an incredibly, you just hold that up forever. It's an incredibly light vest, and I always like to have hydration on it. And the Pantac RV mounts in incredibly well into this vest. It actually integrates onto the shoulder straps here, and you can even push the back straps through the hydration rig, making it a really solid piece of kit. And it was incredibly helpful for me personally going through the swamps at Ballyhack because it's so lightweight. I didn't topple over as if I was wearing you know, bigger rig. But what Josh has done with this, he's got mostly Pantac gear in here, like the Pantac. Oh shit, I'm blanking on what this is called, the admin pouch. Thank you. I almost called it a map pouch. But these are also Blue Force Gear magazine pouches. As you can see, he's got a triplet of M4 style ones here and a double M4 style one there. He really likes Blue Force Gear stuff. He also has a Blue Force Gear dump pouch. He's got a bunch of stuff on here, but the thing is, this is all stuff that Josh likes to use. There's not a lot on here that he doesn't use.
Did you mention that he used this at your
I forgot to mention that. Josh actually used this at the Rebel Training Camp Northern Resistance up at GamePod. I totally forgot about that. Thank you. And yeah, he was able to move around the battlefield and command several small detachments while working on the entire force as per usual. So pretty darn awesome. I got to give it up to Josh for taking a hand at commanding on the battlefield.
And if you want to check out more of the Northern Resistance Training Camp footage, it is actually on our YouTubes. I don't know if you're familiar with YouTube, but if you go to our main page, there's 2 videos. It's pretty cool. We had a good time. Hopefully you will see how cool, legitimately, how cool GamePod is. The guys that run it are super cool. The place is just, I mean, they do a really good job. They're probably one of the best fields in the U.S., and we highly encourage you to go visit that field, as well as watch our video. So,
want to answer a few more things. Keep holding on to that. Colin C. Music. This is actually Ross. Josh is actually in transit back to the West Coast right now. Jonathan Hildebrand. Nice last name. I dig it. He said he's also feeling
Actually, to answer another question,
better.
this gun someone was asking I was holding earlier. This is an Echo 1 Red Star AK Covert, and the reason I'm holding it is because, well, several reasons. Our graphics guy Kevin was taking some very nice photos, and Bob, I brought this in a live show specifically to prove a point to you that you once tried to prove to me. So I'm not really proving anything to you.
No,
I'm
you're
just
preaching
saying,
the choir, really.
Well, one of the cool things that I really liked about this AK is that on top of the gas block it has a rail.
Yes.
And so with that, I don't know. Let me see if I can shine a laser into it.
No, you probably shouldn't shine it
Anyway,
into the camera.
you can see that it's on currently.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, I just thought this gun looked awesome, and I was reflecting about my Irene experience and how much cooler it would have been with an AK, especially if it looked like this.
Yeah, I was the only one rocking an AK.
You know, you and I had a really large debate, AK versus M4. So
we're on the Rebels.
If this gun just looks so cool. So anyway, check it out. It's the Echo 1 Red Star. Yeah, I'm a big.
Let me see this guy.
Dude, it's actually pretty dope.
I really like it because it's actually got a really realistic weight and feel. I personally really like AKs with the wire stock on them. I mean, I only have the full stock AK because I bought it a long time ago, and I already have an AK, so I don't think I need another one. Well, I don't think right now. Yeah, I really like the wire stock just for the ease of use, especially folding in. Oh, especially for folding it in during close quarter combat operations. But what I really like about this is similar to what you said. I really like the rail on the top of this. The first time I actually saw that was when we got some KWA gas AKs in, and then our tech department started putting rails on the gas block, and we actually had some folks in from Sweden. Ricard was here, and him and his buddy actually bought those two gas AKs right there, and
that's cool.
They actually got like 8 AK gas mags.
I think he told me that.
Yeah.
Just like, they're so expensive over there.
No, it's funny because like he said it was like $80 or $100 per mag. But what's crazy is that like I brought him out to show Ricard, and him and his friend were like, can we buy that right now?
Oh, dude, there's actually another AK over there. If you want can you grab that one?
Yes.
Just so people can see it. This other AK is the Echo 1 Rifle Dynamics AK-700, and this was actually one of the ones that Kevin and I were just kind of very impressed with, because if you'll notice, it's a little slimmer because it doesn't have the side rails here. Actually, you can't see my hand. It doesn't have the side rails here, so it's a little slimmer, and it also has the folding stock, but it's just really clean. The rail on top just makes the gun look so much cooler, I think. Tactical AKs, I don't know. I'm finding there's a place in my heart for them, because I used to be like a straight up M4 guy. So
I want to respond to a comment real quick, but keep that on the in your hand. SF Softers. I was at Game Pod with my friend. I gave Bob a pistol magazine pouch and a drumstick. I gave Josh a drumstick also for melee. Were they electric? Remember, Bob? I do remember, and I do still have that pistol mag pouch, and I do still have that drumstick. It's actually really cool. Did I show you that drumstick?
Drumstick? Like,
no, it looks like a larger than normal like drumstick for drumming, but it's black, a little bit thicker. Don't make any jokes. And you turn it on, and whatever you hit, it makes a drum sound. I think it makes different ones. And I was showing Josh. I was like, Josh, look at this. Like, I can melee kill you with music. It's like, I'm so excited. Thank you so much. I'm actually trying to use that sometime in the near future. That was actually really cool, as well as a pistol magazine pouch. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Can I tell a funny story about drumsticks?
Nope.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
So, if you are in middle school and you go to visit a high school, don't make the same mistake I did. I went to a high school, and I was really hungry, and I was looking at the menu, and I was kind of like nervous because of all these big kids around me. And I was like, oh, I'll take 2 drumsticks, thinking they were chicken drumsticks. Turns out they were ice cream drumsticks. So for lunch, I had ice cream drumsticks rather than chicken drumsticks. However, ice cream for lunch is not a bad thing.
That'll play hell with your stomach.
But I was miserable the rest of the day.
That sounds like it, man.
And so, you know what? Make sure they're chicken drumsticks.
Good advice.
Because when you said, do you remember that I gave you a drumstick, I was thinking, dude, who carries chicken drumsticks? I mean, like, just... oh, well, I have chicken, and then I have chicken teriyaki, and then I have barbecue chicken, and then I also have a chicken with some flavored spices.
I actually went to a restaurant the past week where you get, in Big Bear, you get this, there's a special burger there called a Glen Burger, and it's like triple stacks of meat, all these different things, and with it, you get a large chicken drumstick.
And that sounds like 2 things.
A heart attack?
Number 1, the best thing I've ever tasted, and number 2, a quarterly, or like whatever.
Coronary bypass?
Coronary bypass,
yeah. Oh, man. Okay. Well, actually, let's get back to this.
I have a question for you.
Answer.
From David. Hey, Bob, would you play in a Milsim in an outdoor field?
Yes, I have actually played Milsim in an outdoor field. In fact, I used to be a lot more Milsim before I started rocking the axe, obviously. But yeah, no, I've played actually a lot of Milsim games in outdoor fields. I've been to a lot of John Liu Line Claws series military simulation series. That was redundant. I was actually at the first Line Claws, and I had my own squad under the command of Lieutenant, or LT in that game, Helmut Fritz. So yeah, I love Milsim. I go back and forth between Milsim and recreational play, and obviously a lot of our TVB and Rebel Training Camp events are not really Milsim. We encourage everyone to bring out those drum mags, those high caps. Basically, we just want everyone to come out and have a good day of gameplay. Just have fun, bring everything you got, and have a great day. But honestly, I think when I first got here, I was probably the only person or one of the few that was only rocking mid caps, because I like that feeling when your gun goes dry and you have to transition to your sidearm. It feels like a movie to me, and it's just really awesome. So anyway, quadruple bypass. Nice. Okay, let's go back over.
I'm glad someone. I hope you go into medicine, because there's a clear reason that I did.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Quite the judging. But yeah, let me get my hands on this gun. Again, cool folding stock. A little bit lighter than the previous AK because the stock is a little bit lighter. But yeah, this hand grip is really cool. It's textured and it feels really nice. Overall, I really like the addition of this rail mount on the gas block. It also gives you the ability to put on this low profile sight look, which is really great. And yeah, you got the waffle style magazine. Another really cool addition which some people often overlook is this added side rail mounting plate. That gives you the option of purchasing an aftermarket optics rail mount, which you can slide on. You'll have a rail on top, and you can add some optics up here. But with this, with the rails in the gas block, you don't necessarily have to do that. But it might make your gun look a little bit extra cool. But overall, really cool gun. Really like this.
Speaking of super cool guns, should we bring out the dopest of dope?
Well, geez, Ross, we don't go through everything too quickly.
I mean, what is sitting off to the
I know. All right,
actually,
so
here's a question from someone. They asked. Actually, I'm going to scroll up.
Yeah, you're going to have to scroll up.
Probably just not say it well. What is your opinion?
Wait, who's saying this?
This is Virgil, the Fallen Angel.
Where? Nice name.
The question is, what is your opinion on Polar Stars in Milsim ops?
Well, I mean, my opinion is, I think they're asking both of us, because you have experience with Polar Stars and Milsim ops. You right, Irene?
I do.
Yeah.
Can I give a quick shout out? My wife is watching, so.
You're kidding. Where is she?
Looking at you.
Hey, Kelsey, Donkey Kong Champ 2014.
Anyway,
she's really good at Donkey Kong.
She is extremely good at Donkey Kong, let me tell you. So going back to the Polar Stars at Milsim ops, I think that, well, I'm probably the wrong person to ask.
Yep.
Because I'm not, I enjoy Milsim. I think Milsim is one of the funnest ways to play. But I'm also all about rate of fire. So if I could go to a Milsim op with a Polar Star setup shooting 40 rounds a second and empty out a mid-cap magazine in 2 seconds, you bet I'd do it. I would just carry 50 mid-caps. I mean, I don't know. What is your, actually, and the other thing is too, with a Polar Star system, if Josh was here, he could give you a much more accurate testimony. But from what I saw, Josh's Polar Star was the coolest gun that I've seen in a long time, simply because of the technology inside of it. The Orga barrel, the engine, the airflow, and the way that we were able to regulate that.
It also looked badass as all hell.
That's very true.
That was one of, there's a number of guns that have come out of our tech department recently where I saw it and I was almost mystified. I was like, wow. I looked at Aaron, I was like, Aaron, you saw me, remember? I was like, this is a work of art. This is gorgeous. Anyway, give me that vest. I want to show something really quick.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Josh is such a fan of Polar Stars that attached to his rig is a Polar Star patch. All right, that's all I have. Polar Stars at Milsim operations. I personally don't like Polar Stars, and it's just like a personal preference. It's because I like to feel like the gun is shooting something, whereas a Polar Star feels kind of like a BB hose. There's no feedback from the gun itself. But I cannot doubt their effectiveness. I once sent, and again, I guess this isn't a Milsim op, it's a TVB game, TVB 4 and 4.5. I sent 60 different Rebels at one machine gun position. Probably not the best charge we had, but 60 Rebels were gunned down by 2 Polar Star M240 Bravos, which they were cross-firing my Rebels, a very dangerous position for them to assault through. They're incredibly effective, they're incredibly reliable, and as Josh's Polar Star DMR can attest to, it's also very effective if you get the right setup for range. But that said, you have to be one that is okay not having feedback in your gun. But again, as long as that whatever Milsim op you're going to allows the use of polar stars well regulated, I say more power to you. Go do it and have a great time at it. I mean, it's all about personal preference. I'm not gonna make fun of someone using a spring pistol. I'm not gonna make fun of someone using a polar star. I'm just gonna hope they conduct themselves with honor and friendliness.
Airsoft is actually one of the cool things about it is that it's all about creativity. There's not like legitimately, and I think that's awesome. I enjoy TVB events because I get to see. At TVB4, there was some guy running around with a pack, and he had PVC wound all through his gear, and he had a third-person camera mount, and I was like, this is awesome. People come out here with cool stuff. So, in my opinion, whatever you bring to an airsoft game, as long as it's not going to hurt anybody, more power to it.
J.E. the Airsofter. Bob, why do people always hate on Condor? People don't always hate on Condor, but I know where you're coming from. And Josh, oh my God, that's embarrassing. Ross, feel free to...
Do you want me to just leave?
Please do. Ross, please pipe in when you feel ready. I think people, a lot of people make fun of Condor just for the fact that, people want to feel superior about the gear that they're using. If they're rocking an Eagle Play Carrier, if they're rocking something that is somewhat more expensive, they're going to, try and establish their dominance, as sad as that sounds, by making fun of someone else who may have gear that's different than theirs. Honestly, I wear Condor gear a lot of times, and that's because I've been playing airsoft for a long time, and I would buy a vest, and then I would decide to fill it out with pouches, but I couldn't always afford to have 20 bajillion pouches, so I would go around and shop and search and see what I could get with my money, and I would get Condor pouches, and honestly, I really haven't had a lot of them fail on me. I haven't really had too many really big issues, and honestly, there are real military units as well as law enforcement units that use Condor overseas or right here in the good old US of A. I in fact was reading Soldier of Fortune, and there were a lot of Condor ads. So, there's definitely a market for it. And point of fact, if Airsoft was not around anymore, Condor would be doing just fine. We're actually a small percentage of their market. So if you think Condor is made only for Airsoft, you are very poorly informed. So Condor actually does work very well for Airsoft. It's honestly, you probably weren't here for this kid asking about these people in the field making fun of the Cryptek he was wearing. I say screw the folks that are making fun of your gear. Like, you should go out there to have fun for yourself and not worry about what other people think. I mean, if those guys are going to make fun of you for doing something or wearing something, they don't deserve to talk to you, honestly.
Or you could just take the high road and beat them.
In an airsoft game.
In an airsoft game. Not beat them, but take the W and walk away with a win. Actually, there's a lot of questions on the chat about Operation Reclamation. As you might notice, we did not go to Reclamation. However, Daniel, Josh, and Mark did. So when they come back, I know for a fact, I wish I could keep rhyming with that. When I come back, I know for a fact, and you just keep going. Anyway, they will be giving you a full summary of what happened at Reclamation. I have seen photos on the Facebooks. It looked like a good time. For all you East Coast Airsoft players out there that play in the snow, you guys are way more hardcore than me. Because I cannot handle the cold, which is why I live in the desert. So good for you for playing in the snow. But anyway, for all of those who are asking about it, the event went great. I think we had a great time, and they'll be getting back to you next week, so stay tuned. Someone also was asking about Griffin gear. I wore it to Irene, and I was...
That's another thing, actually. At the Rebel Training Camp, someone came up to me and asked, Bob, seriously, just off the camera, what do you think about Griffin gear? Are you guys just trying to push that? I was like, no, man. If you want to know what I think about Griffin gear, go look at the Irene videos. I thought that Griffin gear was good enough to take to a Special Forces training facility in one of the most renowned military bases in the United States of America. Griffin gear, in my opinion, is probably one of the best deals we've had on Airsoft Channel in a long time, because you can get a chest rig and a belt set up with pouches for $30, and it's a really good deal. One of the things that I really liked about the chest rig, or actually two things in particular, God, I could talk about this for a while, is the fact that the straps on the shoulder straps, are actually a bit wider than you'd normally expect on a much more affordable piece of gear. So it allows the weight to be distributed a bit more widely, so it makes it a more comfortable vest. But also, when you open up the Griffin gear, the map pouch is the entire rig, and some chest rigs aren't exactly like that. So it's nice that not only do you have 3 pouches where you can carry dual or 2 or 3 different magazines in each one, but you have the entire inside of the vest to put snacks, or in my case chips, or Big League Chew, or maps, but in my case, Big League Chew. So really good set of gear. I honestly can't recommend it enough, not only for the price, but also for it's honestly very functional. So
we should talk about Operation Northern Resistance.
Yes, the Rebel Training.
Do you want to show those first?
All right, before we bring these out.
I feel like they're so cool.
Okay. I like one in particular, and Ross likes the other one, so this is going to work out pretty well. But our tech department, I got to give it up to Aaron and the rest of the guys in the tech department because they are honestly world class. I'd insert an expletive if I could, but I'm not. So without further ado, let's show these guns. Now, I don't believe these have names yet.
This one is actually one of the ones that I have been requesting for some time. I tweeted about it a couple weeks ago. I have been very excited to give it to the public, and even I'm not really the one doing it. It's Aaron and the tech department. I've just been really excited to show it. We're probably going to actually shoot a video about this gun tomorrow, show people how cool it is. So feast your eyes on some of the coolest airsoft guns that I think come out in a long time. This one that Bob is holding is currently being built still. It doesn't have a motor in it, and I think Aaron is still going to upgrade the internals. But this one, I actually have a build list for. So let me just give you a quick kind of rundown on what.
Are you having a tough time seeing the screen, Ross? Okay.
Hashtag guns flare. Michael Bay. So anyway, so if any of you guys are familiar with the AAC Honey Badger, this gun is patterned after that gun, if you will. It is not that gun, but it is trying to replicate it. Or not even that, it is just styled after that, as is this one. So this is a 416 wire stock, and as you can see, Aaron, actually, something that's even a really personal, cool note. If any of you guys are familiar with lower receivers, if any of you guys are familiar with the difference between 416 and M4 lower receivers, Aaron actually had to mill the wire stock to where when you collapse the stock, it fits in on the lower receiver. So that's an extra. And I was asking him, I was like, well, did you take the belt grinder to it? What did you do? And he's like, no, I had to mill it by hand. So he hand filed this stock down, and then he repainted it. So it looks, as you can see, real nice. The video we make will come and show even better details. But anyway, so let's see what else we have. We have a Tinley GT 40,000 motor in here. We have a Daniel Defense MFR rail as well, which is super nice. And then I don't know, I just think this gun is so clean. I'm a big fan of minimalism, if you will, and this gun is just so nice. Bob, you want to talk about that one?
Yes, I do. I really like this MOE hand grip as well as this finger stop. I don't know if that's the actual name for this, but it's just a really comfortable setup. Basically, this setup right here. I really want to add that to my LM4 after seeing this one, and also the flashlight is perfectly placed on this one. This is where I'd want it as well. I can't remember the style of barrel extension this is. I know it looks like it's licensed by Knights Armament, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And honestly, gives an overall really good look. And this Knights Armament license rail is really badass. And also, I mean, I've been a big fan of like the black and tan combo for guns for a little while now, and I really like how they've done this this setup. With the rail covers, and even so much so that they have sliced off the rail cover right here to accommodate this Allen screw right here, and they've done it so well it's flat. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? So anyway, the attention to detail on this gun from our tech department is second to none. Again, Aaron, if you're watching, please give your guys a pat on the back or something extra for their great work, because honestly, this is stunning. I hope you're watching.
So the other thing I forgot to mention is this gun, and trying to kind of get that really nice polished look. It has a GG AAC barrel extension, which is really nicely tucked inside. Oh, sorry about that.
Thank you.
Flash you with the barrel. So I'll just try to put it like that, which still on the camera doesn't look good. But anyway, it's tucked really nicely and fleshly, if you can see, into the rail system. So I don't know. Be sure to check our website. airsoftdi.com if you are unfamiliar, but since you're watching the show, you're probably not. For these guns, I think we're actually going to make a video of this one because this is probably personally one of my favorite guns to come out in a long time. But anyway, be sure to check it out. The cool thing about all these guns is they're one-offs. You know, these actually probably.
You might even say juicy couture. I'm never going to do that again. Basically, he's right. These are one of a kind that you're only going to get from the tech department. It does take them quite a while to not only design but also build these. So, you know, if you see something like this on the website, get it if you can afford it, because, or I guess like if you know you want it, get it before it's gone, because a lot of these things, you know, our tech department does have to move on to other projects, so we don't always have time to replicate something that may be very popular or may not be.
Is that like that Gucky brand? Gucky?
You're talking
juicy, like the Gucci.
Oh, okay.
You got that? You guys got that Gucky?
I had a friend who was talking about this bag that his girlfriend had, and I was like, "Oh, Hermes," and my friend Gene was, "Bob, that's Hermes," and I was like, "Oh my God, Gene, we need that man card from you."
Do you have that Hermes?
Hermes. Colin C. Music, I do like that you're here, but you did say, oh, another M4. Well, here's the thing is, like, we wouldn't continually be doing M4 or AR-15 styled airsoft guns if people weren't buying them in droves. Honestly, like, you can tell that, you know, I like rocking the AK from time to time, but it's honestly not the most popular airsoft gun. The M4 or AR-15 styled airsoft guns are, because they're incredibly modular, and honestly, just a lot of people like them. And someone was asking earlier if I preferred M4s or AKs. Honestly, if I had to choose only one, I would probably choose an M4 platform just because of the modularity and how much you can use it. But a close second is the AK for me. I love AKs.
Are we talking airsoft or real steel?
I would say both.
I would choose AK.
And that's, you know, more power to you.
Which is funny because in airsoft we're reversed.
Yeah, that's weird. And here's the thing is, like, I would be tempted to choose AK, like if it was in a post-apocalyptic or a zombie scenario, I'd be tempted to choose AK. But the chances of finding AK ammunition is much less likely. Yeah, no, but I mean, I'm just guessing here. But the chance of like stumbling upon AK ammunition is less likely as opposed to stumbling upon M4, like, you know, 223 ammunition in America.
I'm just saying
in America.
That's probably a good point. I'm just saying that when the world ends,
I want a 22.
I want 7.62.
Yeah, but I can carry 200 rounds of 22 and not bat an eyelash. And zombies is going to go in one part of the head and just move around. It's not going to go out the back.
Dude, I was watching The Walking Dead. You know what I realized? Crossbows are so dope.
I don't watch The Walking Dead much.
It has nothing to do with airsoft, but crossbows, like they've been around since the Dark Ages essentially, and they still look cool. So, for whatever reason. Anyway,
I personally wouldn't want to have a crossbow. You should be sorry. I personally would want to have a crossbow just for the fact that, like, you know, you do get one shot. It's not going to make a whole lot of noise, but the reloading aspect is really tough. I mean, it's not hard to reload. It's just it takes time.
You do have to be a man about it, for sure.
Well, yeah, that's why they have that thing in the front. You put your boot in. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm so sorry for all of you who care about airsoft and don't care about zombies.
It's okay. We just go off on tangents here.
You were 3, 2, 1.
Ketchup.
No, really, let's go.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Alrighty. So, really excited about these guns in particular. Hopefully we'll be seeing more from our tech department in the very near future. Maybe on the next show I will bring out my LM4. Someone asked to see my LM4. But actually, if you want to see my LM4, you can actually head over and check out our YouTube channel and take a look at the Rebel Training Camp Northern Resistance games, because I was using that for 3 out of the 4 games. So you can see my setup on that.
Didn't we do a Guns of Bob?
Yes, we did. And that is also on our main YouTube channel. Check out Guns of Bob. I have my LM4 in there. So pretty awesome and pretty righteous all around. Oh, I'm falling.
Yeah, I'm really excited to actually show you guys this. I have been asking before the video game, just so no one says, oh, he only knows because of the video game. I was a big fan of the AAC Honey Badger before, and I was like, man, it'd be so cool if we made that gun, but then we'd have to get a CNC machine, and then we'd probably get the ATF to come after us because we'd be making gun parts. But all that is to say, I'm really excited about this gun. Whoever buys this, I will be jealous, most likely, and I hope that you don't live in SoCal, because if I got shot by this gun, I'd probably just feel terrible about myself. But yeah, this gun's really cool, and I hope that you guys enjoy it as much as we do, because I don't know, I'm a big fan. So.
Okay, someone's asking what sight that is on this gun. This is a Vism Micro Green Dot. I believe we also have some by Lancer Tactical, but I personally do use Vism sights. I have a Vism Green Dot with red laser, which I believe this is actually the micro. This is the Micro Green Dot with red laser. This is the same exact one I use. pretty awesome. I actually used it for a while until it got shot out, sent it back to Vism. They replaced it, which is really awesome of them. But that's another reason why you should also look at getting BB optic shields, because normally, you know, this thing is not incredibly expensive, but if you had to replace it, you know, your money would be much better spent getting a BB shield so that you don't have to spend the extra money replacing an expensive sight. So,
this is an interesting question. Is it possible to get an AEG to fire over 300 feet? Which, if you are familiar with 300 feet, that also is 100 yards. What are your thoughts on that?
oh, me?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of if the physics are even possible.
I mean, I'm damn sure that Josh's Polar Star was firing over that with the Orga barrel.
Right, and that was close to 3 joules.
It was actually, I remember Josh at Operation Irene had actually tuned it down below the regulations for Operation Irene. I think it was like 3.3 or 3.1, and he tuned it down below that, like just, I don't know, just to be a little bit extra safe. And he was still hitting over 100 yards.
Right. However, I would say that for most AEGs, now you could probably get an AEG to shoot over 100 yards if you lofted it and just kind of was like, just kind of put it at a super high unrealistic angle. But if we're talking straight flight, you would have to get that BB one pretty quick, right out of the barrel. So I don't know. That would be an interesting test. Next question.
Jet the Boss, LOL Bob, the BB shields. I don't know what kind of, not sad face, smirk face. I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, I'm a believer in BB shields for a couple different reasons. They're very good at saving optics. Also, especially on my sniper rifles, I have had a scope shot out from a BB, and I was, I don't want to say depressed. I was really sad because, you know, I should have put some sort of shield on it. But I've also had my flashlight shot out. So having Lexan or having some other very thick plastic shield on something you don't want shot out, is that, did you see that?
No.
Oh, okay, I'll tell you about it after. Is actually really important to preserving your product or preserving the longevity of your purchase. So, you know, I have been hearing a lot of folks make fun of BB shields, like why spend the extra money for it? But I mean, in all honesty, like I've been there when, you know, my scope gets shot out. I've been there when my flashlight gets shot out. It's the feeling is like when you're a little kid and you drop your ice cream cone. It's just you're just shit. You're just sad. So I don't want that to happen again.
Funny story. Someone just brought back our P90 that we let them borrow, the upgraded Asia Electric, and the sight was shot out.
See?
So
there you go.
You know what? The BB shield may not look super tactical, but when you're talking about the end dollar, it's a great investment. I mean,
look, I can understand if like you don't have the money to afford it, or if you just have enough money to buy the gun and the optic. Like, I can understand you don't want to spend the extra money. So I mean, if you really don't have a whole lot of extra money, head over to Home Depot, buy some Lexan. You know, you can cut it or sand it into shape yourself, but you're going to get a lot better looking gun if you buy an optic BB shield or buy something that's professionally made. But again, you know, there are ways around that to make it more low cost. But in my personal opinion, I'd rather preserve the longevity of my purchases. So,
do you want to talk about Northern Resistance?
I do.
Okay, great. Can you put this one down for me?
Nope.
Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
So, in case you have not already watched the video, which you can do because it's on our YouTube channel, Northern Resistance happened on February 8th.
Yes, February 8th at GamePod Combat Zone in Antioch, California.
So, I did not play in the event, but...
Thanks, Jet the Boss. Yes, you did not play in the event, but you certainly got shot in the event, and I'm glad you brought that up that you didn't play, because before I say anything else, I'm going to mention Ross got shot in the tip. Your thoughts?
I didn't actually want to talk about that.
Well, all right, well then we wouldn't have to talk about it.
I'm just going to say right now that it was extremely painful. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, before I even worked here, when I went out to Irene the first time, I got triple tapped in the tip.
I remember that.
And I had to sit down on some playground equipment to recover my breath.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, and Tim decided to take that moment to interview me.
I do remember that.
Yeah. I remember you had to sit down on the field, though.
Think of... I can't even think of anything that's comparable.
I can guarantee you getting shot in the Liberty Bell is way worse.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you don't want to talk about it, we can move on.
No, it's a traumatic moment in my day. Actually, the only time that I got shot that was worse than that was, and if you're out there, you're a super cool guy. Thank you for coming up and apologizing. No worries. But some dude like shot me from like 15 feet away in the head. I was like filming like this, and this is before I was wearing a helmet.
Oh, that's why you're in the helmet.
Yeah, you usually don't wear a helmet.
I noticed that.
And I was like walking along, and some BB just kind of goes boom, like right in my in the side of my head, and I was like, oh, that was anyway. So I think what's crazy about it is that when you're filming, I can't shoot back, so you have to like pent up all this rage and anger that you can't. You know, like, at least when you're fighting, you can. Anyway, I don't know if I want to read the comments.
It's okay. Male reproductive organ man Jones. Bob, Google made me change my name. I remember your original name, male reproductive organ man Jones, and I'm glad you're back here. And it's almost funnier that Google made you change your name. More power to you. That's really funny. All right, on with the actual information from the Rebel Training Camp. Overall, it was a huge success. I could not have been prouder of the GamePod Combat Zone staff. Those are consummate gentlemen and very friendly airsofters in general. Craig has been playing for a long time, and he knows how to make a good airsoft game happen. Also, I mean, as you can attest to, Ross, like, stuff was running over time, and there wasn't any complaining like other fields at previous Tim versus Bob's where we'd end the games early. There was actually just like, hey, you just, as long as you guys need to game this go on, we'll stay, no worries, just have a good day of gameplay. So
one of the things that we didn't put in the video out of respect to the men that were there was and we talked about this before the event, but two members of the U.S. military, one I think is now
one is now in the Northern California Police Department,
and the other one is still active. But those two guys
for an assignment with Special Forces
asked us not to put their names in. But allow me to say that it was actually a real treat, and it was a real pleasure to be able to meet those guys. We hung out with them a little bit. They were really sincere. I mean, their whole attitude was, hey, we just want to pay it forward. You know, we're happy to be out here with the kids and with the veteran players, and everything they said. Me, Josh, and Bob, Bob, and I were all just very impressed, and really. For those of you who were there, I hope that you guys enjoyed that. It was a really cool thing that I've actually never seen in any other airsoft game, to have real military instruction and really helpful things. It wasn't just kind of, you know, just crap, whatever. It was actually really helpful. And the coolest thing for me was one of the like quick 15-minute sessions was about playing a corner and how to go high-low with your teammate when moving through like a CQB environment. And it was awesome because I saw little like kids like 12, you know, the kids that had clearly this was like only their second or third airsoft game. They're like, hey, you want to go low? Okay, I'll go high. And they would each peek out, you know, cover their zones, peek back in. All right, you ready? And then they would tap on each other's shoulder and move around the corner, do it on the next corner, and they would keep moving through. And it was awesome because that's really what I think the whole Northern Resistance is all about.
It was all about like ingratiating and making sure that the younger airsofters, you know, have the training that they need to at least like be effective on the airsoft battlefield, and also making them feel more welcome and just creating a nicer generation of younger airsofters. I will say, yeah, it was a stunning success with the folks that Craig was able to bring out. They were consummate gentlemen and very professional, and honestly, a lot of the stuff, you know, they were teaching can be found. I mean, they were honest with us about this before, but like a lot of the stuff that they mentioned can be found on YouTube if you search around. But the fact of the matter is, you know, having someone there in front of you teaching it to you and also giving you feedback is much more beneficial than just being able to watch it on a YouTube tutorial. And so I can get this dealt with so people will stop saying it. Potatoes. Also, id sickness. I was reading that. I'm reading this. I'm responding to comments.
Is the name In Sickness?
ID sickness.
What about ID health? In sickness and health.
Oh, jeez.
The other thing, props to Bob. In editing the footage, you will see a very good run. And as I was watching it, I was like, man, this should be a top 5 video.
What are you talking about?
In one of the games, you start kind of in your spawn. You do a run, which somehow I don't know how you didn't get shot.
I just kept shooting at. Are you talking about Daniel?
Yeah.
I kept shooting in the corner, and the guy. I remember seeing a guy.
No. Even how you got to that corner, you shot out you shot the guy in the corner. You came in, shot like 3-4 guys in the house, surrendered the other guy next to Daniel, and then you. So the funny thing is, Daniel's sitting there like trying to peek out around the corner, and Bob comes surrender, and it takes Daniel half a second. He's like, "Oh, I just got surrendered by Bob."
Yeah. That.
You'll see it in the video. It's
Yeah,
funny.
I was actually the first game. There were no capture rules, so I didn't have to worry about staying a little bit further back from the line so I didn't get captured. So I was right at the front of the battle and just making sure stuff got shot. And yeah, I went around the corner and literally had the barrel of my HK-45 about this far away from Daniel's face, and just a half a second of like, ooh, I could have taken you back if it was capture rules. But it was really fun. I definitely caught him off guard, and I think I'm going to try it for the future. Is like, I think, you know, screaming and running has its place, but like I knew if I would have screamed and ran around that corner, I would have got wasted. And
but then at the same time, the last game you tried the same thing, and it's funny because if you watch it, and I was using my headphones to kind of like just try to hear what's going on. As he's running, you hear the initial BB hit, and then all you hear is just, it sounds like it's like rain.
And that's why I made the decision at the end of the last game. I want to do some sort of like stupid Valiant, like it's almost from the movie Platoon, but like Last Charge. And I went out there and I was like, got hit so much, I'm like, and then went down to the ground, and it felt epic, right?
I mean, it looked cool, I guess.
Fine, Rob.
No, it looked good. I mean, no, that's really cool. And if you want to get shot a lot by BBs, I highly encourage you to run literally down the middle of the street. And
I had my axe up high too, and my pistol out front. Yeah, I was like, ah! So I was expecting to get shot. It felt good. I mean, to go out in such an epic fashion. Okay, fine, Ross. Fine. Yes, so overall the game was a stunning success. It was actually also really good to be able to hone my tactics against fellow rebels, because the last time we played a game pod Combat Zone, I actually had my forces crushed by the Timpire, so I got to try out a few different things and also adjust my tactics in the face of a different opponent. And as you will probably note, you know, my command and also my rebels were a lot more effective. We recovered the nuke within less than 3 minutes, I believe, which was...
Big shout out to Bob's forces on the first game, because I think that Daniel and Josh were kind of still getting their commanding feet under them, if you will. And so the first game, Bob's forces really took the initiative and pushed probably further than anyone expected, which resulted in the first game, the opposing yellow team was really kind of hemmed in almost to their spawn, and at the end the refs even kind of had to move some of Bob's forces back because it kind of wasn't like very fair. But in the initial half of that first game, Bob's forces just absolutely rick-rolled through pretty much most of the map.
I do have to hand it to Josh, though, because he requested the command for this operation, which was approved. And, you know, even though, you know, his team, like I say, didn't succeed as much as mine, I think he did a damn good job, because he was leading assaults on the front lines for the vast majority of the operation.
Actually, I will say this, too. Once after that first game, though...
Oh! Sorry, Ross.
Oh, man. Get that out of here.
Down with the Timpire, Tim.
I'm neutral, though.
I'm sorry
to be completely fair to Daniel and Josh, though, Josh was very good about helping the players pick out their lanes of fire, moving them into position, allowing them to like take objectives. And in the third game, their team absolutely demolished Bob's in the aspect of the buggy warfare, because the buggies were not nearly as effective as they could have been.
You know what's very interesting, though, is that in the third game, I captured 2 out of the 4 objectives. And in the fourth game, how many objectives does Josh's team capture?
I don't know.
0.
Well, I mean, all I'm saying, that's what I saw from my perspective.
Well, no, I will say that Josh's team was much more effective than mine was at destroying the buggies, but we, in spite of that, we were still able to grab the intel crates and make our way back to the lines. But yeah, I remember... Gosh, it was like the first 2 minutes of the game. The big buggy went out there, and then it came back. I was like, guys, what are you doing? You're supposed to be out there. Like, no, we're dead. I was like, did a rocket get you? Like, no, C4. I was like, what? And disposable heroes were just lighting it up. And honestly, I did see some of the footage. Josh is helping direct the disposable heroes, or at least move them around. They're essentially mobile anti-armor teams, which is very effective. And disposable heroes, I mean... As you can see in some of the footage, they actually are very smart about how they play. They have one guy go around the corner as a rabbit.
Yeah, one of my favorite clips in the whole video is I was focusing on the buggy, and then out of the corner, Tony, one of their bigger, like, he's like their squad support guy, runs out, and you're thinking, what's he doing? Like, you can't shoot the buggy. He kind of just runs out in front of the buggy, and this is the smaller 2-person buggy, and the driver goes to shoot at him, and then right around the corner snakes the other guy. I think it was Jared or Eric.
I think it's Jared.
Yeah, one of the other guys, Jared, sneaks around the corner, places a C4, and granted, Tony got shot, so he heads back to respawn, but the buggy is dead, so they accomplished their objective, which, shout out to Disposable Heroes, because they did an excellent job both assaulting the buggies, and in the second game, they helped Daniel's team blow up both of their objectives.
Daniel's also spot on with a rocket launcher, so I got to give him credit for that. He engaged it at point-blank range and was able to knock out a fair amount of my vehicles.
Shout out to Travis, the guy who brought the... Was that his?
The rocket launcher?
Yeah.
I don't know, but shout out to Travis nonetheless, because Travis is a badass ref at GamePod Combat Zone and a genuine individual all around.
So yeah, I think that if you are in the Northern California area, or if you are in the, let's see, anywhere, I don't really know Northern California that well, but you should check out GamePod because it is, in my humble opinion, the coolest indoor field in the U.S. So I don't really...
Llamas. There you go.
You could say it as the Hispanic people say it. Hamas? Isn't 2 L's equal Y? Yamas? Yamas? I don't know.
I'm going to say sure.
If you speak Spanish, let us know.
Well, also want to thank Tim Sargent for stopping by. I don't know if he's still here, but it's good to have you on the show, buddy. Yeah, overall, very, very fun Airsoft event and a really great day of gameplay. I really love GamePod Combat Zone for, honestly, not only do they have a great field, which they're constantly changing and adding things to, again, they have an incredibly professional and friendly and honorable staff. So very good work, Craig. It's a great field, and it's really cool because like the vast majority of what they do is with law enforcement and other units around the country. They have them trained during the week, and then on the weekend, as well as Friday night, they have Airsoft gameplay. So it's really cool. We get the best of both worlds. They have a world-class professional training facility that's also used for Airsoft on the weekend.
Someone's asking, when are you, 2 letters, guys, announcing the 1911 TAC and PDW contest giveaway? So that was for our Google Plus and our product review giveaways. We are actually announcing them at the end of the week, so stay tuned because we will be announcing those winners chicken dinners.
Okay. Yes, let's see what else to mention about the Rebel Training Camp. Yeah, really fun, and honestly, that was like probably the first time at GamePod I didn't really bring out a lot of my grenades. I didn't see myself using, but there were a few moments where I was like, God, I wish I had that on my person.
I'm still a child. Whenever those things go off, I still flinch.
Yeah, that's fair.
I hope that I can become a man one day and just have those things go off around me and not flinch, but that is not going to happen.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we are running out of time. We have about 3 minutes left, so maybe we can get to some questions soon.
I have a word of advice from Colin C. Music. Bob, when you get ice cream at Publix, get their cheapo ice cream, not the Publix premium. The cheaper is far better.
I appreciate that because I do like more affordable deals that are much more delicious.
Do you shop at Publix?
I don't know what Publix is.
I think it's a grocery store on the East Coast.
Oh, no kidding.
Colin C. Music. We may not have those out here on the West Coast because both Bob and I have not heard of them.
But when I do go out there, that'll actually be really funny if I do go out there, especially if you're there, Ross. I'll be like, Ross, remember what this guy told us? Remember what Colin C. Music said?
I mean, yes.
I like ice cream.
Someone was asking about a car with minigun. Yes, that is in the video. And yes, they do have that at GamePod. And yes, it is awesome. So,
not only is it awesome, it is super awesome because it's actually run by the passenger in that buggy. I mean, it's not an actual minigun. It's a minigun frame that has, I believe, a P90 with dual sector gears in it, so it still fires really fast and the minigun spins. But it has a small television screen, so it's got a regular camera on it with a fighter pilot joystick. It can traverse all the way around and up and down a little bit. But you can also kick it into thermal for low light conditions and just shoot heat signatures. Badass. I almost had a nerdgasm first time I saw it.
You know what? Quick shout out to the guys at GamePod that drove those carts.
Yeah.
Because here's what most people don't understand. The cart, or the two buggies act almost as like invincible tanks that can only be taken out by certain elements. Yet, what a lot of airsofters do is they get cornered and they're kind of like scared until they think, well, I'm just going to shoot the buggy out of frustration. Needless to say, the 4 guys in the big buggy, the 2 guys in the smaller buggy were getting lit up. I mean, they were just getting hosed down and they were trying to kill everyone else. And they were still playing, but props to those guys because they were getting hosed and still being solid guys and having integrity and playing the game the way it's supposed to be. So if you were driving the buggy or if you were a passenger in the buggy, props to you because
you're badass.
I would not want to be in your position.
Actually, at the last at the TVB5 at GamePod Combat Zone, one of the buggy drivers actually got shot in the face with a rocket.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. And actually, it's funny. We asked where that guy was. Like, oh yeah, he's down at an undisclosed military base training Marines in counterterrorism. So we're like, oh, further badassness approved. So really great. Yes, SF Softers. Yes, the food at Game Pod was absolutely amazing. The line was a little bit long, and there were some screw-ups getting people fed, so we do apologize for that. But yes, the food, if you did get it, was darn amazing. It was a little frustrating that lunch took as long, so we're trying to make sure as many people got fed as was bobbly possible.
I saw a comment from earlier that I thought we could end with.
Okay.
This will be the end of the discussion. Steak or chicken?
Steak.
What if it's pepper flavored, well seasoned chicken that's been slow roasted?
Well, now that you put it like that, steak.
All right.
Bacon or ham? Bacon.
Same animal?
Yeah, Ross. It's a bacon or ham.
I mean, I will take honey glazed ham.
Well, I'll be bacon. Well, this has been Ross.
Actually, you know what we should do? We should do the Channel 5.
From Channel 5, this has been Bob the Axeman Hildebrand, and this is Ross at AirsoftGI.com. All right, thanks for stopping into the live show on February 18, 2014. Ross, do you have any final words?
Tune in next week at 4:30, where you'll see our awesome live show, and you can check up on even more things. Thanks for joining us today.
God bless America. All right, how do I turn this thing off? Bye-bye, bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Nuts. I gotta refresh the page.
I'm going to keep dancing until Ross turns off the video.